Christmas for Cancer Families actually began because of some very unfortunate events. Our son Riley got cancer when he was 17, and he fought the disease for a good solid year, but because it had metastasized by the time he found it, it came back. And during that time, it was a very difficult time for our family, and we didn't know exactly how to spend Christmas. It was difficult to try and figure out what gifts to give people, and especially to Riley. And I happened upon a woman who had brain cancer, and she had expressed to me that she would like to take her family on a vacation. And so through inspiration and a whole bunch of wonderful people, we ended up sending her to our cabin up at Bear Lake and providing Christmas for her family. And it was such a good thing for us and for our son Riley that the tradition just continued. Losing a child is, you really have to learn how to surrender and trust God. I just feel like if I can trust God with that, I can certainly trust God with a nonprofit and trust that He will lead me to people that need help and to know exactly what they need. There have been years when we've just provided Christmas for families. There have been years where we have sent people to Bear Lake on vacation. And there have been years where we've done complete home makeovers. I don't know exactly what Christmas for Cancer Families will look like in the future. I will continue to look to Christ and follow His lead. The way that I typically find families in need is really just through divine inspiration and guidance. I ask those around me if they know of a family that could use our help, and then I just pray to be guided to those that really need, a helping hand.
I had asked somebody about an exercise class, and they told me about how Jackie was teaching a fitness class in Wellsville. And so I went to that class, and the Spirit said, "You need to know this woman." And towards fall, she asked me if I knew a family that was dealing with the effects of cancer. And immediately my heart remembered a memory.
We're the Hardmans. I'm John. This is my wife, Laurie. As of August 2023, our lives completely changed when we learned that Laurie had pancreatic cancer. There was a pretty dark period where we just didn't know what was going to come of all this. We were contacted by an organization that wanted to come in and help renovate our home. They rely on volunteers, ward members, community members, and so forth to just pitch in to make these things happen. And for a 3-week period, we moved out of our home. And our daughter, who was living in the basement, and her family also moved out, and we just turned the home over to them and let them have at it.
May the angels protect you, trouble neglect you, and heaven accept you when it's time to go home. May you always have plenty, your glass never empty, and know in your belly you're never alone.
A makeover of this scale might cost someone anywhere from $100,000 to maybe $200,000, depending on what you find. And so I knew that if I took this on, I would be shouldering all of the responsibility.
Never alone, never alone. I'll be in every beat of your heart when you face the unknown. Wherever you fly, this isn't goodbye. My love will follow you, stay with you, baby, you're never alone. Well,
People are really busy this time of year, contractors, because everyone is wanting to get their home finished for the holidays. And so the fact that we're even able to pull people away from their regularly scheduled jobs is amazing, that they will come and do that. I mentioned to a contractor that I work with named Denton Hansen, who owns 208 Landscape. I had asked him if he would be willing to do a new yard for this family. And when I called him, he was still struggling to get all of the work done that he had already promised people before the weather turned bad. And when I spoke with him, it just did not sound hopeful that he would have time to fit the Hardmans in. But a few weeks later, Denton called me on a Friday morning and he said, "Hey, I'm ready to do that yard for that family. And I've got another landscaping company in Logan that's willing to help me." So later that day, I received 2 more phone calls from other people I had mentioned it to that indicated to me that they were on board with it. One of those being Scott Livingston. He owns Livingston Homes. He's one of my employers, and he owns Sturdy Structures up at Bear Lake. The minute that he said that he was all in, I felt like no matter what happened, I would have somebody to have my back because of his connections and who he is in the community up here. We got Steph and her amazing community in Mendon on board, and I just have been so impressed and amazed with the people here in Mendon. Just so eager to help in any way that they can. The fact that we are able to go in and in 3 weeks' time completely move every single item out of that house and replace everything, rearrange walls, and then move it all back in and sort through it in an organized fashion, and even replace lots of things that need to be replaced. I mean, it truly, that in and of itself is a miracle. After we had committed to do a complete home makeover for this family, and after we had asked them to move out, I got a phone call that my mother had passed away. I didn't anticipate the enormity of the pain in losing my mom. I believed that once I had lost a child that I might be numb to the feeling of losing a parent. The interesting thing about my mother passing away during this time was that days after I first met John and Laurie Hardman, I called my sister and I mentioned to Steph that the Hardman family actually really reminded me of my parents and some of my older siblings. And I noticed big emotions stirring inside of me as I visited with them. And as I saw the dynamics in their home and in their family when my mom died, I guess it just reconfirmed to me that God was in the details. Within the first week after my mom died, one of the things that came to me or that I felt deeply was that she was excited and she was happy because she was no longer sitting in her apartment, unable to see what I was doing and try to understand what I was doing. I felt like she was doing it with me and kind of even running out ahead of me to send help my way. And some of the people that called out of the blue and offered to donate things were people that I had never met, but that she had talked about and that she knew. And it was just another sign to me that God is in the details. These videos are usually just all focused on the poor person that's going through cancer. But what I'm noticing this time is it's bigger than that. It's bigger than Laurie's cancer and her heartache, and it's bigger than John's heartache and the Hardman family and their heartache. And it's just, what I see is that everyone in this world is suffering in some way or another, and yet even in the suffering, people are showing up in love and willing to serve. And it's very touching and very humbling to witness. Everything in that house has been touched by someone's hands that love the Hardmans. And they are going to walk into that home that is really literally infused with the light and love of Jesus Christ.
It's like stepping into a home decorating magazine.
Yeah.
You know, you step to the door and it's like, wow, you know, and we would have never have dreamed of doing anything this beautiful at this scale.
When we would talk to Jackie and other people who were working here and helping, we knew that there was just so much love that was being put into this home for us. I just sometimes just get butterflies thinking about the miracles that I hear, the little stories and the people that have come and helped. And it's like, wow, that happened for us. And now it makes us want to pay that forward. We hear about other people who are struggling, and we want to be there for them, like people were for us. I know that what is keeping us going is our Savior. He is there watching over us, always.
I went to my mom's funeral, and after the funeral, there were items in my mom's home that none of my siblings needed or had room for in their homes, and that included her bedroom set and her dining table. And my mom loves polka dots, and she has this adorable yellow polka dot chair. Paul and I left the funeral and went over to my mom's place, and we emptied her drawers and we took apart her bed. And it was so conflicting for me to take those items to be donated to a family that truly I don't really know. But I know that that's where my mom would want her things to go. And I believe that she has and will continue to spend time in that home. I had talked about doing the home reveal on Saturday, the 16th of December, and then it dawned on me that that is actually my mom and dad's wedding anniversary day. And just, I mean, I don't know all the details. I wish I could zoom really far out and see exactly the meaning behind all of it, but this was all meant to be, and that my mom is involved.
I know there's gonna be some brighter days. I swear that love will find you in your pain. I feel it in me like the beating of life in my veins. Oh, I know there's gonna be some brighter days. Oh, I swear that love will find you in your pain. I feel it in me like the beating of life in my veins. I know there's gonna be some brighter days. I know there's gonna be some brighter days. I know there's gonna be some brighter days. Oh, ashes fall from burning dreams. Oh, never lived through times like these. Oh, if you're trying hard to breathe in the dark, in the dark, I know there's gonna be some brighter days. Yes, I swear that love will find you in your pain. I feel it in me like the beating of life in my veins. I know there's gonna be some brighter days. I know there's gonna be some brighter days. I know there's gonna be some brighter days.